Hey y'all.
Hey.
I appreciate y'all coming out regardless of the weather.
Yes.
Cause we all know justice don't sleep, right?
Come on.
The need for justice hasn't stopped. Although folks have seen that video, we've been asking for justice before that. We've been asking for justice continually until we're gonna get it, and that looks like us coming out right before an ice storm to watch the sunset, which is something that Tyree loves to do, at a place that he loves to go, the last place that he was coming for before he was unjustly murdered, and to honor him in that way and honoring the things that he loves to do, and that looks like us showing up for him and continuing to show up for him over and over and over again until we get every demand met, until this family gets the justice they deserve, and until Memphis gets the justice that we deserve, because this isn't the first Tyree, right? This isn't the first time somebody's been unjustly killed by the police, and this ain't gonna be, well, it's gonna be the last. If I got anything to do with it, it's gonna be the last. I want to make sure we go over the demands and really give a history of where we are right now, because we're seeing that the pressure is working, right? We're seeing that us hitting the streets is working, us stopping commerce is working. So the parents of Tyree and us as the community, we want the names of everyone involved released. That includes the officers, the EMTs, the firefighters, anybody that was on the scene that was they were complicit in his murder. Anyone that was there that didn't render aid, that didn't tell someone to stop, that didn't tell someone this isn't right, that we should get help, they're all complicit.
Not just
they're all complicit in his murder.
Charged.
All of them.
All of them.
They need to be named. They need to be charged accordingly, and they need to be fired. It's very important to me, I know it's for other people as well, that if you murder somebody in the public, if you beat somebody's ass in the public and he dies, I need to know who you are. You're a danger to the public. You're a danger to me. You're a murderer.
Come on.
And they love to put up mugshots of regular black people, and we just out here stealing some of the store because we're poor. Or we out here enrolling our kids in a different school and a different zip code because we're poor and we know we enrolling there. They're going to get their education. They quit to put them mugshots up and send you to jail. Who are these people? Detective Preston Hemphill needs to be charged accordingly. He needs to be fired, not relieved of duty. He's still getting a check right now. I think that's real sketch. I think it's real sketch how we like to protect white people and their wrongdoing. We click to throw at the black people and what they did, but y'all protecting this white man, this 26-year-old, murdered somebody. I can't imagine being 26 and all my life filled with white supremacy to the brim. That the first thing I do when I become a police officer is murder somebody.
My Lord.
Because he contributed to the murder. We got to call it out how we see it. He tased him, immediately approached him with force, incited other people to beat his ass. That's violent. And that led to murder. And you should be held accountable accordingly.
That's right.
We need to make sure there's no more Tyrees, right?
No more.
So that looks like us passing the Data Transparency Act within the City Council and the County Commission. It looks like y'all showing up to the City Council meeting and the County Commission meeting and making public comments. It looks like us passing the ordinance that would end pretextual stops by law enforcement and using law enforcement and traffic enforcement at all, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. And it's just a way for us to discriminate against black people and further cause them more financial hardships by giving them tickets. What is my tick going to do? What is dark tick going to do to somebody? How is that criminal? If my brake light is out, why not just tell me my brake light is out? Why give me a ticket for it? That doesn't even make any sense.
Come on.
We want to make sure there are no more task force in the city of Memphis. The feds love sending down money to overcriminalize black people in our communities. We're not doing that no more. That looks like y'all disbanded the Scorpion unit, but Scorpion is under MGU. Scorpion is under the multi-level gang unit and the organized crime unit. They need to be permanently disbanded as well. And we're going to pass an ordinance to make sure that we can no longer form these task force in the city of Memphis. Because that's killing people.
Which ones? All
that means every demand has to be met. Every ordinance has to be passed. We're going to kick off a week of action starting on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, February 4th. We're going to have a national day of action where folks all throughout the United States and abroad are going to be holding actions to call for justice for Tyree. We're going to have an action here as well. And so then we're going to have a Black Joy healing space to offer folks some space for healing, because we know this is rough. I know I'm traumatized. I didn't watch the video because I don't have to watch a black person die to believe it happened. And I think we offer it to folks on the fact that you don't have to do that. you can believe that black folks are human. Where's the humanity?
Come on.
You can stop objectifying black people and say you have to see them murdered on a video with audio to believe they were actually murdered. That means you see us as an object and you don't see my humanity as a person. I can look at the picture of Tyree in the hospital and know he was murdered. I can listen to his mom and believe her lived experience and know he was murdered. Believe black people. I believe black people. Do y'all believe black people?
Black truth matters.
Absolutely.
Black truth matters.
Believing our lived
Black
experience
truth matters.
would end the way that we're being treated in the first place. So I don't have to watch a video to believe that.
That's right.
And I think it's important that we are focusing on the humanity of Tyree and him as a person and his personhood. So getting all those demands answered are crucial. Then we'll continue that week of action on Monday at the county commission meeting, filling that all up and making those public comments. We'll continue that on Tuesday with the city council meeting, filling those halls up because those ordinances are coming up. And we got to make sure we pull it up, right?
Yeah.
Y'all pulling up?
Come on, pull up.
Pull up?
Pull up.
Pull up?
Pull up.
We'll provide transportation for folks as well for the city council meeting and the county commission meeting. So we'll make sure we get those flyers out for y'all to sign up because we want to make sure that everyone can access that, right? You don't have to just watch it online. If you need a ride, need some dinner, we're going to pull up, pick you up, get you some food, make sure that you're taken care of because we as a community, we keep ourselves safe, right?
Exactly.
We take care of ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that happens. And then the next day on Wednesday, if our demands are met, we'll have a press conference. And if not, y'all going to see what happens.
We keep going.
We keep going.
It don't stop.
Yeah, it don't stop.
It don't stop.
Also, there was one other thing that I wanted to reiterate. Today on Facebook and across social media, there have been a lot of speculation around why,
Come on.
and people keep sharing that. And Tyree's mother has specifically asked that that stops getting shared. It is a rumor. Nobody knows why the police decided to pull up on this young man and be aggressive and brutally murder him, but that's what happened. So by all means, if anybody has shared that, please remove it. It's speculation. We don't know. I mean, police are terrorists. They're domestic terrorists. We're going to call them what they are. And so there may not have even been a reason that they pulled up on him aggressively that day. They might have just been having a bad day. So I did want to say that because she has been saying that. She's been asking the public to please stop sharing those rumors about why her son may have been murdered. Nobody knows. So we're going to leave that there. Give me one more second. All right. Justice for
Tyree!
Justice for
Tyree.
Justice for
Tyree.
Say his name.
Tyree Nichols.
Say his name.
Tyree Nichols.
Justice for
Tyree.
no justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Y'all a little quiet. Hold on. Wake up, wake up. We want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them, need them. Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
We want freedom, freedom.
Freedom, freedom.
All these racist ass cops, we don't need them, need them.
Racist ass cops, we don't need them.
Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake
We
up.
want freedom, freedom.
We want freedom, freedom.
All these racist ass cops, we don't need them, need them.
All these racist ass cops, we don't need them, need them.
I also want to make sure I announce that the family is holding a press conference tomorrow night at Mason Temple at 7:30. We're going to be there to support them. We hope that y'all can pull up and support them as well. I think it's important that we continue to offer this family support because they have suffered a grave loss that's in the public, and they can't escape that. And so I think the least that we can do is continue to show up and support them.
Amen.
My name is Josh Adams. I'm a member of Decarcerate Memphis and official BLM Memphis chapter. One of the things that I've been called to talk about today are the pretext traffic stops. And just to give some history, we had already been in city council talking about the dangers of racism, the dangers of pretext, and the dangers of violence in police traffic stops. A month later, Tyre Nichols' life was taken. But we know that other people's lives have been taken due to police traffic stops. We know that Martavius Banks was almost killed during a police traffic stop.
Yep.
We know that Darius Stewart was killed during a police traffic stop. Nationally, we know that Philando Castile was killed during a police traffic stop. And so what we want people to understand is that these stops are extremely dangerous. The data that we presented showed that there is a disparity in how police conduct traffic stops. So the number of traffic stops already there, we show that people of color are pulled over more. The disparity grows when we talk about which stops make it to court. And the disparity grows again when we realize how many stops get convicted. One thing that's interesting is that officer dismissal requests are only white women. So that's very interesting in a city that is nearly 70% black. And so one thing that we want to talk about is the fact that we do not need police to be helping us keep our traffic safe. That is not necessary. Police are not making the traffic situation safer. They're putting us in danger. They are killing us. They are beating us. Many of these beatings are not tracked because the officers don't. They'll pull over a person, beat them, and not issue a citation. And when a person goes to try to make a report, it's almost as if that event never happened.
That's right.
Right? And they cover these things up. Right. And so this extreme lack of transparency that happens during police traffic stops, the not publishing of data, the not tracking of data, that needs to end now.
Yep.
Now.
Right now.
Now.
We're not listening to folks tell us that they don't have the power to do this or that. We're not listening to people tell us that this is going to take this long. It can end right now.
Now.
Literally.
And so we're calling folks to come and support us, to be present at the city council meeting on February the 7th.
Yep.
The meeting will take place at 3:30, am I correct?
Yep.
3:30 p.m. Please be present. Bring your people. Right? And we want to make sure that we're holding these folks accountable. We want to make sure that we get the data tracked. We want to make sure that we get on a road to getting police removed from traffic stop, because that is the only way that cycle of violence will end.
That's right.
And I thank you all for being here.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Justice for who?
Tyre Nichols.
Justice for who?
Tyre Nichols.
Justice for who?
Tyre Nichols.
Say his name.
Tyre Nichols.
Say his name.
Tyre Nichols.
Say his name.
Tyre Nichols.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Yeah.
We here for Tyree, right?
Oh yeah.
Why I can't hear no better? How y'all feeling?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Now it sounds a little more better. I had did an interview, I believe it was New York Times, and I spoke with them about the DOJ oversight. Like, we need this. I'm gonna tell y'all the reason we need that. Because I don't know who's here that was on the bridge when the lawyer got up and said that they're trying to do an in-house investigation. Let me break it down and see what they mean. When Strickland appoints somebody in-house, it's gonna be Memphis attorneys that's investigating this police department. It don't take a rocket science to know how this is gonna turn out. So we need somebody who ain't from here, that don't know nothing about here, to look into this. So we definitely need them to come out, because we all are here for a reason, and it came from the wrongdoing of the Memphis Police Department. Like, we gotta get justice, and it gotta start somewhere, and it starts with Tyree, and that way we can backlash for the victims that were for Tyree. But it starts from him, man. So we're gonna stand on business, man. So I'm asking y'all again, how y'all feeling?
How you feeling?
Ah, okay then. Say less. Y'all ready to get these boots on the ground?
Oh yeah.
Y'all ready to stomp for Tyree?
Oh yeah.
Ah, okay. Sound like a winner. Sound like a plan. Where Frank go? I talking to me. What we gonna do? Y'all ready to move? We waiting on him. Where we going?
Did y'all test y'all lungs before we got here today? All right now, we want y'all loud.
All right. So I appreciate y'all for coming out. I think it's really important that we continue to show up for Tyree over and over and over again, especially, honoring him in this way at a place that he loved to be. We need y'all to show up again tomorrow at the press conference at Mason Temple at 7:30 in the evening. And I hope to see all of y'all here and even more folks. So please get home safe before the ice storm comes. But we're going to be out tomorrow too.
All right, let's get it.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
If we don't get no justice, then you don't get no peace. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
If we don't get no justice,
You don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
You don't get no peace.
no
Hey.
justice,
No peace.
no justice.
No peace.
If we don't get no justice,
You don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
You don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
You don't get no peace.
period.
Right. All right. All right. Thank you all. Wonderful.
Can you hear me now? He started this, he initially escalated because when he got out the car, the first thing he did after Tyree took off running and the guy washed the pepper spray out his eyes, he was like, I hope they keep their head in. He cussed. I'm not going to cuss on your feed, but he cussed. He was like, I hope they keep his head in. So initially, the guy got back in the car, was rinsing his eyes out, the officer, and went straight to where Tyree was, and they started beating him. So you can show that he had malicious intent from the gate. So even making a statement like that in a public servant, how is that fair? So don't charge these 5 officers and leave him out. If he dances away in the party, it's left up to him to dance away out of the justice party. It's just that simple, man.
And why do you think
We
it
here
took
to
this
spread
long
awareness.
and a public
Not
outcry
just for Tyree,
to get his
but
name
for
out?
everybody.
Because they were
that
trying to cover it up. And one thing about it,
before him,
the source mine hearing, that don't get happening in one day. I know people that's incarcerated been down there 6 months waiting to get a hearing. How did these officers have a bond before they went? How did these officers make bond before they went into custody and have a source hearing in the same day? If people don't understand the system, I just broke it down to you. Somebody dropped the ball, somebody trying to cover up the ball, but they ain't gonna get out of the way of the ball because we're a wrecking ball and we're gonna bring justice for Tyree. And it's just that simple. And by me being a lead activist, I'm gonna stand on it. I made a promise to the family to get down to that. So it ain't no playtime over. We want every one of them charged, from the firefighters to the police officer that was on the scene, and it's more than that 6. Don't sugarcoat this. We see it in the video. Even though they tried to edit, they couldn't edit all of it. But hey, if they dance their way into the justice party, they're gonna have to dance their way out of the justice party. And we definitely gonna get justice for Tyree. All the family demands gonna get met. All the community demands gonna get met because we're not accepting anything else. We do not want another Tyree situation. And the only way we get there, we start at the top and clean house to the bottom.
but what you guys don't know, we've been out here, me and Casio have been out here for way more people than you guys could imagine. And I just have to mention Jershon Freeman. He was murdered in 201. And that family had no one, didn't even know about him. They contacted me, and all I could do was call the media. And that's why I'm so thankful for them, because they have treated me right. And I told them, you guys, we got a family that says their loved one was murdered in 201 jail. This is not just about the police. This is about people that we entrust, that people that we are supposed to trust with our lives. And they want to know why we hate them, or say fuck 12. They want to know why we're trying to tell them, but they're not listening. They're killing us.
Ain't going home.
They're killing us. This is very, very, very personal to me, because they hurt me. This is not about me. In the coming weeks, me and my lawyer, if he's out here, I don't know, we're going to be telling my story. And it doesn't matter if these cameras are here. I just want you guys to support me. For the past 5 years, I've wanted people to support me. And it was about MPD. They hurt me. So this means a lot to me that we get to tell Tyree's story. And it also hurts me that we had to go through a lot of people being hurt in order for us to be standing here together. So let's not let it be in vain. Let's let our voices be heard. That's why I'm so loud, y'all. Y'all say, oh, she got so much energy. That's why, because it's a lot of people, a lot of dead people inside of me. It's a lot of dead people inside of me. And I mean that. I feel these mothers' pain. All right, and I'm off my soapbox. I didn't even ask if I could say this, but it's coming from my heart. So when I'm holding things in, this is helping me heal. When you guys holler and scream justice for Tyree, I want you to mean it, because it's helping everybody heal. And so next time you come, bring someone that has never experienced that. Okay? I love everybody, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you.
Wait till the light come on. Leave the trigger and leave it down.
Hey, let me say this while the media out here. One thing about put the gun down and fight like a man. Hey, we don't accept intimidation. There's been some things going on. I'm not gonna go into detail, but just know we standing on what we stand on. So to whoever or however think that you can scare tactics, this, that, and other, you have to show us that, and we with that. We ain't from Germantown, no offense. We ain't from the suburban area. We come from the project, man. This is a walk in the park for me. So, hey, man, if you with that, bring it. You know, they know exactly who I'm talking to, however it go. One thing, we standing for something right. We know y'all done wrong. So, however you want to do it. I'm with whatever you with. And that's all I was standing on, man.
From Orlando next time.
Sample officer was.
So where we gonna be at tomorrow at 7:30?
Yeah, just now.
Say it louder. Where? And be on time.
And
I was late, so.
it's just never ending, and all we want is for them to stop killing us. Stop killing us because of the color of our skin. B-U-R-E-S-S.
I don't know how true it is. Maybe the rest of the media can verify it. They said there's a 7 pig that just got let go. Is that true?
Well, I see the 6 pig. I ain't seen the 6.
I just got word from one of the media saying there was a 7. And one thing about it, letting them go, they ain't standing on nothing. We want them charged accordingly. Like simple as that. If they dance their way into this justice part of Tyree, they're going to have to get left for them to dance their way out of it. So you can let go however many you want to let go. Strickland, C.J. Davis. Hey, man, charge them folks. They left this young man out there dead. He was dead before he went to the hospital. We're going to keep it 1,000. Everybody saw that video? If you sit back and saw this man slope over and saw him again, get raised back up, he slumped back over again. Come on, man, don't take a rocket science to say that. I'm going to say what they scared to say, man. I'm going to stand on what they scared to stand on. I'm going to go where they say I can't go. About a little dude. And I mean that, man. Charge them folks. We ain't stepping under that. We already being peaceful. Come on, we're going to speak facts now. We already being peaceful. What y'all didn't, what they didn't expect for us to get it this far without us doing something dumb. My mama didn't raise no fool. My grandma didn't raise no fool. I stand on business, man. I gave the lady my word.
That's right.
So ain't nobody gonna wreck nothing. Ain't nobody gonna do none of that. If you're gonna stand in consolidation with us, we're gonna do it right.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna dig in their pockets.
That's right.
That's what they care about. They don't care about us. Nope. I don't care if you're white, blue, green, or whatever. Them folks don't care unless it's containing them. And the only thing they care about is money. So this 7 pig that they just arrested, hey man, charge them, man. We need to see some breaking news on that.
Yeah.
You can let go however many you want to let go. They can go get a job somewhere else and be another Tyree somewhere else. Nah, we ain't doing that, man. And the only way we get rid of this, we get rid of this OCU. We start from the top to the bottom. C.J. Davis, you can get a announcement made that you doing this, you doing it, you ain't done nothing until we put pressure on you.
Did nothing.
So man, let the media cover that part.
And CashApp, we want her resignation as well.
Right. Like we gotta get from the head, man.
Right.
We need you up out of here because Strickland appointed you.
She gotta go.
And you came from way from Atlanta. Do the media know why she came way from Atlanta?
I'll tell them about it.
Hey man, she got fired for child pornography.
Trying to hide the
You know what I'm saying? Trying to hide that.
Yeah.
Same way she tried to hide Tyree. She knew.
Yeah.
We standing on business, man.
Yeah.
Don't come with that innocent like you just done something perfect. You ain't done nothing.
Right.
What my sister did? We've been calling out for this lady for 4 months. All the city leaders.
Yeah.
We've been on the news 4 times in the last month telling them, man, come holler at us. Y'all don't know what's going on in the community college. Y'all in the office. They go for all of them, the city councilman too. How does your district and you ain't in your community? Come on, man, stand on business, man. I just look like I don't know what's going on.
Ain't no leaders, bro.
Man, we standing on business, man. So charge these folks, man. Strickland, you finna come out the door anyway. So we ain't even worried about you. That's why you so comfortable. But C.J. Davis, hey, man, you can go back to where you came from.
Thank you.
If you handling business for the community like
That's just
that,
the start.
that ain't it.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple, man.
Simple.
What's this it? What got it? I gotta keep my eyes on everybody.
All right, y'all have a great night.
Right. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. Be careful and
Please be careful when you get home about the ice storm and like.
I'm on family first. You see Frank?
That's what I'm looking for now. Barbara right here.
What Barbara?
Yeah, man, cool. It's cool. Let me put my lanterns down.
Hey y'all, some quick instructions before y'all leave. You have to go to the left. You can't go to the right. So you have to exit out to the left.
Hey, what's your name? John. Yeah, Gil Carter. Yeah, pleasure's all mine.
So why do you think it took this long to work out for these other officers to be recognized?
It's just indicative of the culture of this department and departments all across the nation. In particular here, when you have a so-called police department that prides itself on when it was founded in 1827, it just speaks to the fact that there's nothing more than an evolution of what it was then during the chattel slavery of African people to now. So it's only an evolution. It's no different. It's only evolution of part of the evil that is inherent and embedded in institutions all across this country. So that's the main reason, you know, so it just permeates from then to now.
And it seems like this whole time this white officer was being protected, his identity was being protected.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on him only being relieved of duty, not being charged?
Well, we want all of them to be charged. That's why we continue to come out and place pressure on city officials to the point where one case in particular, Darius Stewart's case, is reopened and Connor Schilling goes to prison as well. You know, we want that much pressure to the point where, you know, again, that case is reopened and he goes to prison for murdering Darius Stewart back in 2015.
Can you talk a little bit about that case?
I don't have specific details with me right now, but, you know, Darius was pursued by this pig, stalked even, to the point where he caught up with him on a church property, New Direction Christian Church on Winchester, of all places, and murdered him with impunity. And again, there are details I don't have. I don't want to speak out of school. All I know is that he murdered this young man, took his life with impunity under the color of law. And now he has some position in DeSoto County, Mississippi, and received a pension. That I do know. I can share that with you if that's not disgusting enough. So we want Connor Schilling. We want every pig who has taken the lives of citizens here in Memphis and Shelby County. And that also goes for the so-called Shelby County Sheriff's Department.
They were involved in Tyree's murder also, right? They were there?
From what we understand, 2 so-called deputies have been relieved of duty. But yes, it has come out now that they did have involvement as well. So we're holding everyone from both so-called agencies accountable. We're holding everyone accountable, and we're serious.
What does it tell you that, 2020 we had all those protests?
Yes.
George Floyd.
Yes.
And then 2022, I think, was the worst year and had the most police killings.
Yes.
And, Biden's budget was another $32 billion for the law enforcement across the country.
Yes.
Why do you think nothing has changed? It's actually gotten worse.
I don't want to be redundant, but it goes back to what this institution initially was, going back to chattel slavery of African people in this country. They were slave patrols. They went out of their way, committed the most heinous acts to actually place freed black men and women back into chattel slavery, okay? So you have to understand the evolution, but before you understand the evolution, the origins of these so-called police departments across this country. Okay, so again, it just permeates from then to now, it being the culture of coercion, intimidation, terror. Just look at how in today's time, so many of these departments employ military-style tactics. The militarization of neighborhoods and cities and towns all across this country. But it started from, again, chattel slavery of African people in this nation. It's nothing different. It's just named different. It has a different face. It's packaged differently. But here in Memphis, unfortunately, they're brazen enough to tell people, specifically on their Facebook page, Memphis Police Department, established in 1827. Again, almost ad nauseum, we know what was going on in 1827. So until we abolish any and everything that is tied to oppression, suppression, whether in the past or attempts made at that now, that's why we fight back. We don't allow ourselves to be marginalized, mistreated, subjugated, but we need more brothers and sisters from all ethnic groups to fight and ensure that they're not marginalized, mistreated, or subjugated. But until those institutions that are steeped in this country's worst sin are destroyed, we're going to continue to see the same thing. And as far as we're concerned, on our watch, it needs to stop here. Yeah, so if you would, allow me to say some names. Chavez Carter, we're going to continue to say his name I want to look into the camera. Shabbos Carter, we're going to continue to say his name. Deontay Farrow, we're going to continue to say his name. Stephen Askew, we're going to continue to say his name. Jalen McKinney, we're going to continue to say his name. Martavis Banks, we're going to continue to say his name. Tyre Nichols, that's who we're here for now. But the young men's names who I just called, we're still here for them today. And we're fighting for the families of these young men. We're fighting for the family of Tyre Nichols, and we will not stop. All right, man. Okay. Who you with?
Status Coup.
Status Coup.
Coup. So Status is CEO UK. You can find us on YouTube. All right? I don't have the call on me. Yeah. Throw them on the ground. Take care, guys. No problem. Thank you.
I need a media person.
Hey.
Is this? All right. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't even know what it says because I can't see it. So is this what you guys? No. This is about the MFPD, and I can try to tell everybody. I guess don't nobody want to know. They lawyers somebody send me this. They're fine. And we know there's no turnout to investigate a squad. I can't see it. So can you read it? I can't get somebody to read it.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to get my name on that? My full name?
I got it, yeah.
You got it? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Read that, Gilbert. Read that out loud.
Oh, so you're going to give me for this too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
So
hold this.
This is the charger.
Okay, I need you to hold these.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the charger. Make sure it stays up there.
Okay, got you. Hey, good evening. My name is Gil Carter. I'm about to read a statement from Memphis Fire Chief Gina Sweat. On January 7th, 2023, at 8:31 p.m., Memphis Fire Dispatch received a call from the Memphis Police Department to respond to a person pepper sprayed at the intersection of East Rains Road and Ross Road. Per Memphis Fire Department protocol, first responder company Engine 55 was dispatched at 8:32 p.m. and arrived on scene at East Rains at 8:36 p.m. After an initial conversation with a police officer at that location, Engine 55 was directed to the second location, Ross Road and Castlegate. EMT Basic Robert Long and EMT Advanced Jamichael Sandridge made the scene where Tyre Nichols was located handcuffed on the ground, leaning against a police vehicle at approximately 8:41 p.m. The driver of Engine 55 and Lieutenant Michelle Whitaker remained in the fire apparatus. Our investigation has concluded that the two EMTs responded based on the initial nature of the call, person pepper sprayed, and information they were told on the scene, and failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment of Mr. Nichols. After their initial interaction with Mr. Nichols, they requested an ambulance to respond. Emergency Unit 28 was dispatched at 8:46 p.m., arrived on the scene at 8:55 p.m., initiated patient care, and transported Mr. Nichols to St. Francis Hospital at 9:08 p.m. After concluding our internal investigation, it was determined that EMT B. Long, EMT A. Sandridge, and Lieutenant Whitaker violated numerous Memphis Fire Department policies and protocols. As a result, EMT B. Long, EMT A. Sandridge, and Lieutenant Whitaker have been terminated from the Memphis Fire Department. Their actions or inactions on the scene that night do not meet the expectations of the Memphis Fire Department and are not reflective of the outstanding service the men and women of the Memphis Fire Department provide daily in our community. Okay, great. All right, man. Thank you. Okay, man, you do the same.
What was that? So what was that?
The EMTs were terminated.
3.
And that's what I was trying to tell them. 3 EMTs got terminated.
Everybody ain't online.
3 EMTs and then 2 more officers will leave the duty. I just found out. Good job.
What a damn Johnny on the spot.
You guys make sure you give yourself
Going down.
You ready, sir?
Okay, so if you didn't hear me before, we're here at this place called Shelby Farms Park. Tyree used to spend a lot of time here watching sunsets, and he had a passion for photography and skateboarding. So he loved to come here and just be out in nature and relax. So that's why we're here. So as you heard, there was a 7th officer that was announced and terminated, but the officers have not been charged, and that's what they are demanding, that everybody involved be charged.
I'm blessed, man. What school go to?
She was right here.
Alright guys, don't forget, smash the like button, share the stream. If you're not a member of Status Coup, please sign up. Definitely help reporting on stories like this. It's very important that we're out here covering this because, after the,
Be careful, John.
Alright, you too, Gil. Thank you.
Coup. C-O-U-P. Yeah, opposite of status quo. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you.
Y'all straight?
Yeah, where are you from?
Well, I'm from New York, but it's called Status Coup. I'm not sure why.
Interesting. What is the show about?
Well, what do you mean? I mean, we cover things all over the country. We're progressive outlet. You can find us on YouTube.
Okay.
All right. Can you talk about ending qualified immunity and why nobody in the media is talking about it?
I think ending qualified immunity is one of the biggest things we can do to make sure that police are held accountable, because the fact that they get that immunity prevents them from being charged when they definitely need to be when they're committing so many different crimes. So I'm all for it. I was definitely pissed off when it came up in Congress and folks were pushing back against it. I really feel like we had a good chance to get it passed then, and I was really annoyed with people playing politics and not making that happen for the people who are enduring the police brutality and domestic terrorism every day.
Also, the deactivation of the Scorpion. What are your thoughts about that, and what do you see coming out of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's small fish when you consider the whole grand scheme of things. The multi-level gang unit is the unit that holds both of the organized crime unit and the Scorpion unit. So that's why our main demand is for them to deactivate permanently the multi-level gang unit and the organized crime unit, because all of those task force units are used to brutalize citizens. We commonly call them the jump out boys because they literally jump out of their cars and will drag people out their cars, put guns to their head, beat them up, and in Tyree's case, murder them. So there has to be a complete deactivation permanently of all of those task force. And that looks like us, one, making that demand, but two, also getting the ordinance passed here in local government so they can't form any more task force.
Absolutely. Is there anything you'd like to share about police here in Memphis?
They're domestic terrorists. Like, point blank, they terrorize us and overcriminalize our neighborhoods every day. There's nothing good about them.
Okay, cool. I got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's your name?
John.
John.
Nice to meet you. Alright guys, I'm going to hang out here for a few more minutes. Again, smash the like button, share the stream, and then if we post any clips, make sure you share them. I'm sure we'll be posting some of these interviews separately so we could get them out there. Definitely make sure you subscribe and become a member of Status Coup. And yeah, let me check the chat here and we'll see what's going on.
Even if you do it, you still in trouble.
It's actually really cold here. It was warm for the past couple of days, but now it's dropped down into the 30s, and there's a ice storm that's coming over in the south here.
Yeah, they I guess
Hey. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a walk around.
well, but and also to I think it's
Okay.
like city halls on the way. Just in an optic.
Excuse me. Hey, man. You mind if I ask you a few questions?
Who's your
Status Coup. We're on YouTube.
Status Coup, yeah.
I'm live right now. That's cool. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey,
I'm John, by the way.
Josh out.
Josh. Yes, me. What are your thoughts about ending qualified immunity, and why hasn't it happened yet?
I think the reason why it hasn't happened is because like the sort of broad sweeping progress that we want to happen is usually held up by the bits and pieces of the localities, right? So when we first presented the data for traffic stops, there were a lot of people who were concerned about butting heads with the police union, and so that means that they were really worried about re-election. So especially when it comes to ending qualified immunity, you may not have a lot of on the ground support or like local support within the locality, so that may hinder what type of progress you have like federally, because federally you can do it, but I think depending on how much sway like these large city their local parties have over the ideals or the idea of what like the federal government feels like is possible or viable, that's probably what's holding it up. There's a lot of fake progressive Democrats in localities that are not trying to make progress on the issue.
And can you talk about what are your thoughts about the mayor last year proposing a 10% raise for the police departments?
He promises raises quite often. My issue with it is that there are a lot of city departments that are underfunded. Even when we think about our local housing authority, we talk about the crime in 2020. We're trying to do all of this boosting the morale of police departments, or trying to do this boosting the morale of police officers. The issue is that crime is not going to be solved by police. While we had like a spike of violent crime locally in 2020, we also had 9,000 evictions scheduled. And so that creates this larger problem of understanding that crime is perpetuated by poverty. So if you don't have an anti-poverty program, you don't have an anti-crime program. So promising more money for policing instead of giving money to organizations that are on the ground trying to do conflict resolution, or trying to build healing spaces, or trying to do violence interruption, it's sort of a slap in the face to people who have been demanding progress on the issue for a long time. And I think the local mayor is just in this fantasy world where all of these things actually solve the problems, but they don't. And that's kind of how I feel about it. I could go more on it.
We know the safest community, like we always hear, the safest communities are not the ones with the most police, they're the ones with the most resources.
Right.
And we need to instill that in so many cities across this country.
Right. So yeah, I think, you know, if we want to imagine, for people who are struggling to imagine what a world looks like without police, our schools, most of them have counselors that are working between multiple schools. We have reset rooms, which are supposed to be like a mental health space for students that are in crisis. But a lot of the reset rooms don't have a reset specialist. A lot of people aren't staffing their family and community engagement specialists. We don't have any social workers working inside of libraries. However, the libraries are the first places people come when they're looking for resources after they've been, put out of housing or once they age out, and once they are released from prison. So, if you're struggling to imagine a world without policing, I would say look at all the different problems that occur in a person's life before they commit a crime. Were they working full time? Did they have stable housing? How many times had they had a conversation with a counselor? And so it gets easier when you realize the things that people don't have. And as you said, like the safest neighborhoods are the ones with the most resources. And that's if we just had, resources to deal with the issues that we're dealing with. One thing that I also bring up is that a lot of us are children or grandchildren of people who escaped horrible conditions of the South, horrible conditions of like sharecropping. And once our grandparents or parents got into the urban area, they got no mental health support for that. There was no counseling, there was no dealing with that trauma. And those patterns of dealing with things of violence, of people not having a way to express or having a way to deal with the way they were feeling, those sort of like created cycles of violence in the community. So police is not the answer. And in fact, in a lot of cases, it's the problem.
Can I get your name, first name?
Joshua.
Oh yeah, Joshua. Right, cool. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. All right, everyone. It's pretty much cleared out here. It's getting cold. Let me check the chat here. Hope everyone's doing all right. Smash the like button.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's it. Like every Western.
Alright guys, I'm going to cut the stream here. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for donations. Everything helps to keep us out here and reporting on these stories. So like I said, if you're not a member, please become a member.
And we'll let you know when we'll be back live again. All right. Have a good evening.